Hello, and welcome back. So today I'm going to ask the question, what is Guild Wars 2? 5.5 years later, almost 6. Guild Wars 2 has come a long way since it started. When it started off, nothing really was in its finished state. I remember because I actually created this character about a month after it released, and I still have her today. And she's one of my favorite classes, the Necromancer. I remember running around with all my minions out, and I had the shroud, feeling like an absolute boss, simply because I viewed it as I have 3 sets of life. I have my own life, but first they have to get through my minions, and when they kill my minions and my health is low, they have to go through my Reaper shroud. So literally, it's like killing 3 different people. So I absolutely loved running around trolling people in PvP, which by the way was extremely hard back then. Yeah, I stopped pretty much after I started because it literally took you forever to get a rank. And then they did the update and pushed a bunch of people up to level 80 just because, I don't know, the way they balanced it. PvP was always fun though as the Reaper because you could play, or not even the Reaper, just as the Necromancer because, well, I don't know, you had 3 sets of life. You could play with conditions, you could play with power builds, you could play with minions, you could play the Wellomancer, which is an older one if any of you guys recognize that one, where you basically lay wells down and it heals you, so you could be like a self-sustaining tank, kind of, pretty much. I absolutely loved playing with the builds, making vampire builds. We could suck in all the life of everyone else and no one could die. Then I got onto the warrior and I was like, yeah, this is a pretty nice one. Didn't play him very much. Anyway, a couple years later, they ended up updating everything with specializations. Well, not a couple years later, with the release of Heart of Thorns, their first major expansion. Once again, they're testing the waters, kind of feeling their way in the industry. They don't want to be like WoW, they don't want to be like anyone else, so there's no mounts, there's nothing else like that. There are in the new patch, which I think is a great. Anyway, back with Heart of Thorns. Heart of Thorns was an awesome way to introduce all these new systems and a way to progress the game further after you hit level 80, because for the longest time, once you hit level 80, that was it. You could go into fractals, raids back then, you could just go into dungeons, which were hella easy. You'd just stand in a corner and all the bosses would come to you, and then you just stack up and tank and spank it, which is kind of stupid, but hey, it worked and you got lots of stuff, you could buy stuff. Along with this here, a little before that, also Fashion Wars came into play. They created the wardrobe system, which, as you can see here, I have had a great deal of fun playing with, making all my characters look different, having all these looks to themselves. I find it absolutely fun. I've always loved making characters look like certain people and creating a backstory for them. Heart of Thorns, great expansion, a lot of hype behind it, a lot of negative impact, a lot of good impact. Then again, most people like to focus on the negatives. Massive maps, verticality beyond what I was expecting. Gliders, which are, I don't know, kind of like mounts, but not really. They don't make you go faster. They just kind of allow you to get to different places, which is, then again, awesome, as it is. But, I don't know. It seemed like they were trying so hard to get people's attention that they made it the wow factor. We have races to do, we have challenges to do, we have all these new enemies, you can glide now, you can get into secret places, there are masteries, you have all these places you can go out, and soon enough it just became a farm where you just follow these people around and voila, your mastery's done. It's not really as hard as I thought it would be. For me, however, I'm a veteran and I still have yet to create one legendary. Not because I can't, because I've had so much money in this game. I spent it mostly on fashion. I've reset these characters many times. But, yeah. I don't know, I always seemed like once I got that, what would I do? Like, I only recently just started getting Ascended gear for this. And I've been playing since the start, and my Mesmer here is the only one who has ascended gear, and she's not even fully maxed. She still needs gloves, a hat, and I think shoes. And it's probably gonna be a while before I do that because it's not high priority for me. Like, I still want to get into raids. I haven't even touched those. I've wanted to since day one, but I've always said, okay, when I get full ascended, then I'll join the raids. So I've been taking it really slow. As you can see, I've got a good amount of freaking achievement points. Wow, it says it right there anyway. Yeah, I've got a good amount of achievement points simply because I've been around for a while. World v World I just recently got into with my warrior here, just simply because I had a kind of a tank build where you use the shouts to heal yourself. So you're running around and you're the commander. You're running around. If someone's out in the field and everyone's attacking and they're dead, you rush over them with your great sword and you heal them and bring them up, and it makes you feel like, hey, yeah, that's right, I just helped this entire war. And everyone's shooting at you and you're trying to die and it doesn't work. They can't kill you because you're just so tanky and awesome. That was what I loved about World v World. I don't know, World v World's a different story actually. World v World has had a lot of negative. I always thought it was fun because I never paid attention to the threads of the forums. I never listened to all the negative the negative impact out there. I've kind of gone in there by myself, you know, hey, I want to take down this fort. I'll start attacking it and people will join. I'll pop my commander tag. People will join me and we'll take it down. End of story. For me, it was never about rewards, though the rewards now are really good. The fact that they've added in a backpack that literally will take you a long time to get it, which means only like skilled people who actually really love World v World will get that backpack, which is kind of cool. It makes you more distinct. Like if you see that in the actual like PvE, you're gonna look at them and say, "Wow, geez, this guy really likes World v World. Maybe I'll talk to him about it." And it creates more of a it gives you a talking point. That's what this game seems to lack, is stuff to talk about. Like in other games like WoW, when I ever played that, which was a long time ago, before Guild Wars 2, when I was playing that, what I would do is I would walk over and see someone with a cool piece of armor and go, "Hey, how'd you get that?" And then they'd tell me or even show me how to get it and lead me in the right direction, and that's how we became friends. And then I would add them as friends and we'd go on do quests together and stuff like that. With Guild Wars 2, however, there's so much loot in the game that you get most of your skins just by getting to level, I don't know, 50 and scavenging everything you can except for the level 80 exotic. Anyway, I got way off track there, so I'm going to bring us up to date. So all the way up to date now, we are going to be releasing ArenaNet are going to be releasing a patch. Not a patch, another expansion. I've already pre-purchased it. Like, it is beyond phenomenal. There are mounts in it, and like just looking at the animations on the mounts, like look at this. Holy crap. Like they spent some time building these things. And apparently they're going to be, I think it's 5 or 4 new maps, and they're going to be the biggest maps they have ever made. And just by looking at the footage, I think it's only one map, and that's the Crystal Desert. And it is massive, and it looks beautiful. Like, I cannot wait to just roam around for hours. That's what I spent most of my time in the core doing, just roaming around. Like, I still have not gotten one person, like, I don't know if it says it. It doesn't. Oh, yeah. Maps percent completion. Right there. The oldest one I have, 68% map complete. That is the oldest character I have. She has been here since the beginning. And I still have not gotten world completion on her. I'm just that relaxed in the game. I absolutely, like, I don't know. I bought this game because I wanted this to be the first MMO that I had it since the very beginning. And it would make me feel like, yeah, you know, I'm a veteran. Like, I know dungeon paths and tricks to the dungeons that nobody nowadays does, because not a whole lot of them actually play the dungeons, which is kind of sad because there's a lot of really fun memories in dungeons like that, meeting really cool people running around. I think the funniest thing I ever did was, oh my god, this is hilarious. I was in a Raw the part with the giant that throws rocks at you. Oh my god! And I had my warrior, and I put on the perk where, or the trait where where if you block something, it reflects project, it reflects projectiles. So he threw this massive rock at all of us, and since I have the highest toughness, it came towards me. So I blocked, and this giant rock just bounces back at him and knocks him flat on his ass. It is great. Oh, that was definitely, like, everybody in the chat just started laughing, and I just did it every time. Every time he did it, it was great. Oh my god. Guild Wars 2 is my baby. I have come from the very start of not knowing anything about Guild Wars 2, thanks to Wooden Potatoes again, and also a couple other YouTubers, but I think Wooden Potatoes was the most one that did it to me. He told me about the history of it, and I never got to play Guild Wars 1. I always wanted to, but it was too much money for me way back then. But I love the history of everything, so I watched the videos and I learned the history, and now I absolutely, like, I love the lore. I love how different characters come back, how different places in the world have changed over time, but they're still the same place. The history is still there. Like the Orion Scepter, everyone was like, what happened to that? And voila, the Scepter of War has showed up in the freaking story again. It's come a long way. It's no longer that, you know, old game from 2012. No, it's a whole different game now. There's gliders. There's now mounts. There's massive maps. There's dungeons. There's raids. There's fractals. There's everything you can want in an MMO with the graphics of like an amazing single player game. I come from playing a Mac for 90% of my time. I've owned this game. It wasn't for the past couple months that I actually had a PC where I could put full graphics on. You can even look at my other videos and you can see how crappy the graphics are on Mac. But they put it out for a Mac anyway. It's still in beta, but they wanted people to play it. They just wanted people to play and enjoy the history of the world. So they put it out there for Mac. Even if it was in a beta, it was still available. And I played it for years and years and years, and now I've got a PC and like the graphics are phenomenal and everything's beautiful. Just for an MMO, you just can't beat this. Like, this is top graphics for an MMO. Like, the hair physics, it's just, I don't know, amazing. Anyway, thank you guys very much for listening to this giant rant. I'm gonna go probably play Guild Wars 2. Actually, I'm gonna change this character's look because I don't like that pink. No.